It's a nice little climb, this one, not too steep and not too high either. It's about 100 meters, not even that probably. But at the top, I've actually got a recording of this, I'll have to put it on here. I think it's like some sort of relatively ancient house or village or something like that. There's a sort of walled section. And in that video there was a local. He was just parked on the side of the road. I think he stopped to see what I was getting up to because I was having a close look at this sort of walled section. So seeing as he stopped, I went over and asked him, you know, what this place was, and he said he didn't know. And he said, you know, the elders of the area, they don't tell any stories about it, so, you know, I guess that history is lost, which is a bit of a shame. I seem to do all my vlogging here when I'm climbing hills, eh? So maybe you're used to me hearing me sort of my breathless utterances as I'm climbing up these hills. This one really isn't a steep hill, and it's really not very high as well, so I'm not very breathless now. It makes a pleasant change maybe. Okay, this is it, coming up on the right hand side here. I'm sure there's history here. Look at it. I mean, that's that embankment there and these big rocks. This must have been something at some stage. I mean, Songklar's history goes back quite a long way, because they've got it's been a very old port, and they've got, you know, the old city is walled as well in Songklar. So yeah, there's quite a bit of history there. I haven't had a read up on it recently, so I can't remember all the figures. But maybe we'll have to explore that another day. The old city. It's a driving school over here. It actually looks pretty decent. A friend of mine is friends with the owner, and I just suggested to him the other day, I said that my daughter's looking to do a driving test, and he completely misunderstood what I meant. He said, "I'll come to this driving school here." He said it's really easy. That's really not what I meant at all. Yeah, I wanted a decent driving school, you know, not somewhere where you just go in, pay your money and you basically pass, which is quite common over here. Yeah, so my daughter, she's gone to another place, and she was supposed to have done her test on last Saturday, but they changed the dates at the last minute, so she was not happy. I wonder where that goes. Let's go and have a look. Oh, probably to the quarry, I guess. Then maybe it's a private road. Probably. So they'll just see that I'm a Farang. So that sort of excuses me for most things. It's kind of good in a way. It's discriminatory, yes, but it's like a get out of trouble card. You play the innocent Farang. Oh, I didn't know. As I used to do when I was, on the numerous occasions I was stopped in Bangkok on for traffic violations when I was riding a motorbike up there. You know, they'd pull me over, I'd sort of open my visor, my tinted visor, and they'd see a a Farang looking at them, they generally just wave me on, because probably their English wasn't good enough to communicate, but my Thai was certainly good enough to communicate, but still I didn't need to let them know that. So yeah, the number of times I got away with traffic violations in Bangkok. I mean, here's me preaching on about the standard of driving in this country is not very good, but I was guilty just as much as anyone else when I was living in Bangkok. But there, I mean, it's the norm. Oh, it is a quarry, yeah. Oh, this must be a private road, don't they? Maybe. Yeah, I guess it is. Kind of a nice looking place though, isn't it? It's nice lakes here, or ponds I should say, not really lakes. Yeah, they're probably going to develop this into something. I mean, look at that cliff face up there, that looks really nice. So let's just keep going. I'm sure someone will shout to me in a minute or something. Or maybe the dogs will just come and chase me. Another nice lake here. Ah, look at that. So we just went past this from an elevated position just now. Just trying to find out where that was. It was on the other side. Can't quite see where it was. Is it over there? I think it was probably... I think it was over there somewhere. Yeah, there's a car going past just there. Yeah. So that's where we were. We looked down on this just now, and it looked really nice. That's that cliff face up there. Look at that. That's quite something. So it's probably going to fall down. I mean, it's not supposed to be exposed like that. They've just been hacking away at it like they have with all of this, and they're basically selling the mud. สวัสดีครับไปไม่ได้ครับออกไปไม่ได้เหรอครับออกเป็นที่ส่วนตัวครับอ๋อขอโทษทีครับขอโทษทีขอบคุณครับ Yeah, I thought that might happen, but they're very polite about it. He just came along and said, actually, you can't actually ride in here. Hey, yeah, the dogs, the welcoming committee. Yeah, but still, I mean, that guy is very polite about it, you know, just he came along and said, yeah, you're not supposed to be in here. Yeah, that's very polite. Like, you know, in a lot of other countries I've been to, you know, you wouldn't get that sort of courtesy if you were trespassing on their property. That's typical Thai though, you know, they're just very nice people. I've got a bit of speed up here, I don't want to shed this speed, it's overtaking. Now we're going to turn right here. Yeah. Sharp right here. And now we're on the road that I wanted to be on. There's something in there, I'm not sure. I think some sort of camp or something. Probably along the same lines as that Bang Chang place. Or Chang Phuap, the Thai theme park. I think that's what they're trying to aim towards in there. I think there's horse riding and stuff in there. which is a bit tame compared to Bang Chang, you know, that's elephant riding. But still, I guess, you know, that appeals to sort of less adventurous people maybe. And I think they're doing okay, you know, they've got sort of goats and sheep and stuff, like a petting zoo, I believe. There's some government building here on the right. Unfortunately, I can't read Thai, so I don't know what that says. But it would be some provincial, or not provincial, probably some what would you call that in English? Government district office. Yeah, I mean, that's quite grand in itself, but if you see the provincial offices, yeah, they're very, very grand, you know, and the land they're on, and yeah, really very smart. And you know, the nice thing is they sort of keep the Thai architecture as well. That really does look good. And this is a district health, a hospital, I guess you'd call it, like a basic hospital. You know, it's got all the essential stuff, and you know, a doctor comes in and he has his hours at that place. So you basically have to be within that window of the doctor being there to make appointments and stuff, just for the locals around the area. But you know, in emergency situations, you know, I've sort of helped people who've had accidents and stuff get along to these district hospitals, and generally what they do is they just, from the district hospital, they'll arrange an ambulance to take them into one of the bigger hospitals in the province. There were a group of 3 schoolgirls, like I guess upper secondary schoolgirls, who were going around the corner on a motorbike, 3 on the same bike, and they slid. I think they braked, you know, sort of panicked. The girl who was riding the bike, she panicked and braked, locked up the front wheel, slid off. All 3 of them got, not all hurt equally as much, but I think one or two of them were, you know, enough to need to visit a hospital. And one of the local villagers, he passed by as well. That was in the area of the waterfall that I usually go to. And yeah, we sort of, the villager, he was in a pickup. So he was going to take, I think it was 2 of the girls, to the local district hospital, which wasn't far from where they were. And the other girl, she was going to stay with the motorbike. And I think in fact it was just one of the girls who you know, really did need to get to the hospital, need some medical attention. But I think the other one, she wasn't so badly hurt, and she was saying she didn't need to go. But I think in the end I sort of convinced her that she needed to go with her friend, which is very common in Thailand. You know, if you go to the hospital, you don't go alone. And in fact, hospitals actually require it here. How's that? I mean, you know, as far as I remember from Western, certainly the UK, if you go to a hospital, they don't want your relatives and people sort of clogging up the hospital and that and getting in the way. They'd rather just the patient, and they would treat the patient, and the nurses would watch over them, and they've got the system under control and that. They don't need any outside, well, to use the term help loosely here, because it's not, it's probably more hindrance for the medical teams. But here it's required. You actually have to pay more if you don't have a relative spending the night watching over you if you're a patient. Yeah, so you actually have to pay extra to have the nurse watching over you instead of the relative. I would actually much prefer a nurse to watch over me, in fact, than a relative, because they don't have first aid training at all here. I mean, it's extremely rare. Maybe 1 in 1,000 people have some kind of first aid training here.